Welcome back, strangers. Today we are excited to do a collaboration with Edina Pasic, an amazing creator who makes videos about unsolved mysteries, cold cases, and unexplainable paranormal activity. She is super talented and is constantly putting out great videos. So be sure to check out her channel and video on the Edina Pasic mystery after you watch the unsolved case of the Hinterkaifeck murders. On Friday, March 31st, 1922, Maria Baumgartner arrived at Hinterkaifeck, a small farmstead located 43 miles north of Munich, Germany. She was hired as the new maid since the previous one quit 6 months earlier, claiming the house was haunted and refused to stay one more night at the farm. Everyone assumed the old maid was a superstitious woman who let her overactive imagination get the best of her. The family who lived on the farm consisted of 63-year-old Andreas Gruber, his 72-year-old wife, and their widowed daughter, who was 35, Victoria's 7-year-old daughter, and her 2-year-old son, Josef. The family usually kept to themselves on the isolated farm, but Andreas had recently told a few people in the nearby town that a series of unexplainable events that began happening in the middle of March. While surveying the farm after a recent snowstorm, Andreas found mysterious footsteps in the snow that led from the forest on the edge of his property to the family's home before they mysteriously stopped. There was no other tracks leading back away from the house. Andreas searched everywhere on his farm and inside the home for any other evidence of the strange visitor from the woods, but it was like they vanished without a trace. Later, Andreas woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of footsteps and odd noises coming from the attic. However, he found the attic to be empty when he went to investigate. Andreas told his neighbor that his keys had gone missing from inside the home. He had also found a strange newspaper in his house that none of his family recognized, and his shed appeared like someone had tried to pick the lock and break in. His neighbor offered him a gun for protection, but sadly Andreas declined the offer, still refusing to believe that something truly sinister was happening on the farm. On the evening of the 31st, an unknown monster lured Andreas, his wife, his daughter Victoria, and granddaughter into the barn, one by one, where they were ambushed and murdered with a mattock. It appeared that the adults died almost instantly from their fatal wounds, but Andreas' little granddaughter suffered for hours alone next to her dead family, repeatedly tearing out her own hair while she slowly passed away. Next, the intruder entered the home and killed baby Joseph in his cot, before finally entering Maria's bedroom and hacking her body into pieces. The maid had just begun her job earlier that day. What do you think spooked the previous maid, causing her to know not to spend one more night on the cursed farm? It wasn't until April 4th that the neighbors came to investigate after Andreas' granddaughter failed to show up to school. None of the family had been seen doing their daily chores, and their mail had not been picked up. At first, the neighbors didn't think much of this because they had still seen smoke coming from the home's chimney. Farm animals and livestock were also fed and cared for. Whoever the mysterious killer was, he had stayed in the house after the murders, eating the family's food and sleeping in their beds. Police originally suspected the motive to be robbery and interrogated traveling craftsmen and townspeople. However, that theory was quickly abandoned when they found a large amount of money sitting out in the open, undisturbed in the house. Another theory centered around the unknown father of baby Joseph. Victoria's husband was believed to have been killed in World War I, but his body was never found. Did he return home and murder the family in a fit of rage when he saw baby Joseph? An autopsy performed on the bodies confirmed that the cause of death was from the mattock wounds, but Victoria signs of strangulation, a very intimate way to murder someone, usually only used in crimes of passion. There was a rumor around the town that Josef was the result of an incestuous relationship between Victoria and her father Andreas. Joseph's birth certificate only listed the letters LS, but a local farmer named Lorenz Schillenberg publicly claimed to be the boy's father, even paying alimony to Victoria. Before the murders, it was reported that Victoria was planning on suing for more alimony. Lauren was part of the original search party and even found the bodies in the barn and notably disturbed the crime scene before the police arrived, causing the police great trouble in their investigation. Over 100 suspects were interviewed and questioned, but nothing was ever found. Lorenz Schillenberg was the prime suspect, considering his close connection to the family, the discovery of the bodies, the disturbing the crime scene, and he was even a farmer who knew how to tend and upkeep the farm and home in the same way the killer had done after the heinous crime. However, there was no concrete evidence to link him or anyone else to the crime in order to get a conviction. Sadly, the case still remains unsolved. Let us know in the comments what your theories are about what happened to the Gruber family. The Hinterkaifeck murders and the Edina Pasic incident are two of my favorite unsolved mysteries. I sometimes find myself thinking about what happened to those unfortunate people. Be sure to check out Edina's channel for more unsolved mysteries during her Sinister Sunday videos and her Thriller Thursday videos for creepy, unexplainable paranormal events. Be sure to subscribe and become an Edina Panini so you don't have to miss out on her videos. Leave her a comment letting her know that you found her channel because it helps us out a whole lot. Thanks for watching, strangers. Be sure to check us out on social media that we are able to stay up to date with us. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement helps the channel grow the most, and we love hearing your theories and thoughts on each video. And of course, stay strange.